What's up, my fellow financiers? Thanks for popping in, checking out the video. Been a little while. I am currently in Vegas, very excited. We've got a kind of impromptu little mastermind that we're pulling together. I was coming to Vegas for another meeting, and I mentioned to a couple of the members that I was going to be here, and so that led to some other people deciding to come. And yeah, so we got like 8 or 9 folks that kind of last minute are going to be hanging out here. So excited for that, excited for my meeting. It's been a lot of traveling over the last couple weeks. Got to see fam, got to see some business partners in person, which has been a while, since I did any of that. What prompted this video was a couple conversations. One conversation was when I was in Tampa and with my uncle, and he was talking. He's at an age now where he's hitting retirement age, and he really has the money to retire. But he was basically saying, like, I'm trying to figure out, what do I want to do? Like, what am I going to spend my time doing? And doesn't want to retire until he figures that out. So it's not the monetary thing. It's more just like, okay, what do I want to spend my time doing? And then I had this other conversation once I got in, had dinner kind of late here at the Four Seasons in Vegas. And so I was downstairs, and one of the other guys who was having a drink started a conversation. An older guy, it is retired, and he was talking about kind of a similar thing of one of his biggest issues was figuring out, what he wanted to do, and obviously successful and had the money thing figured out. And he just realized, like, man, I think there are a lot of people that struggle with that. And it's so interesting that we spend a lot of time trying to make money and not much time trying to figure out what we want our life to look like once we have it, or why we're making it, and really mapping that out. I've said this just before in life in general, but I think it's important for a few reasons, beyond just like what you want your life to look like, but also like, what do you want retirement, those things to look like figuring out what you're working for. But the thing that has been interesting to me for years is the fact that, when I owned Home Investors, we would acquire property, we'd come up with, all of the changes we want to make, and, figuring out where the plumbing is, and figuring out, how do we make sure that we're meeting code. And there was just this like planning process that, and in some cases putting together blueprints if there are going to be additions and all that, and, putting that much effort into a rehab. And it was always interesting. And one of the things that I decided back then was like, okay, like, if I'm going to put this much work into a house, or if I'm going to put this much work into a business plan, and projections and all that, I should put that much thought, effort, and energy into planning out what I want my life to look like. And I think part of that is not even saying, if you're a young person, you're watching this at 21, shout out to Essie and Andrew, a couple of the subscribers that are younger. It doesn't mean that, okay, when I retire at 45 or at 50 or at 60, whatever your goal is, this is exactly what I want to do. But it's exercising your brain to start to figure those things out. One of the things that is amazing about the human brain is that it's really a problem finder and a problem solver. And it can be a pro and a con. It's something that stops a lot of people from achieving their goals, because the brain is a problem solver. First, it is a problem solver. It's a problem finder first, and in a lot of cases, a problem creator. And the reason it's that way is evolution, and it like it's meant to protect us. And so what the brain does is try to figure out what are all the things that could go wrong, what are all the problems, what are all the threats, what are possible issues, and then even if it's just imaginary, it's not that it's a problem right now, it's just possible. And so it comes up with the problem and then it solves it. And so it's just an automatic thing. I mean, if you're somebody who like meditates or just kind of steps away and just watches your brain, I mean, it's just constantly like it's coming up with stuff constantly. And in a lot of cases, it's just coming up with, okay, did you do this? Is this an issue? And so you can be a victim of that because it's one of the things that I have to overcome when we're putting together a private equity fund with clients, when we're having clients acquire businesses, is especially when it's that first deal. I think people really overthink it because the brain is telling them like, no, like this is going to be a problem. I think this is a threat. I think here are all the issues that can come up, and it's tough in those first deals because you're not going to learn anything until you take action. And so, you're just stuck in this kind of catch-22 of coming up with the problems. But until you take action, you're not going to be confident that you can take care of the problems. But all that to say that I think it's really valuable to put these things in your head. And it's unfortunate. I was talking to a good friend of mine, Brittany, and we're just talking about like, where she's living and, debating between San Francisco and Miami and designing life and like all these things. And one of the things that's interesting is we're never taught how to enjoy life. Like nobody ever says, here are the list of things that you can do, or here's how you can just think, because every person's different. And, in addition to like work and school and getting good grades and these kind of things, here is a process that you can go through to try to figure out, and whether it's personality testing or whatever, try to figure out what are the things that you would most enjoy, get the most enjoyment out of in life, and try those things and figure out. And so it's a very constrained list of things, like, oh, well, maybe you play sports, or you're going to be a cheerleader, or you're going to be in music. And it's like, there's this whole world of things out there, but nobody walks you through, here is a process, or here's a framework of how you can think about enjoyment. And so you end up in a situation where the the people that are telling you how to enjoy things are companies that are trying to sell you something. And so they're like, oh, the way that you can enjoy life is buy this Porsche. That's going to help you enjoy life. Or the way you enjoy life is come to us and get a big fat mortgage and, buy a bigger house, or uh, take out this loan to go to college because that's going to, give you a degree and get money. And so you have all these people that are telling you these are the things you need to do to enjoy life. And I think it's worth doing the exercise yourself. So, part of coming up with your life blueprint is what's the end goal? You know, whether that's your own lifestyle, the impact you want to make, how you want to give back, that kind of thing, and what does the journey look like? You know, where you are getting fulfillment and enjoyment, and that's something that's always going to change. The other part of that is constantly evolving. How do I want to enjoy my life? And that's just something that doesn't get talked about. And so it's interesting. Like I said, I've had those two conversations, and part of it was the retirement thing, but part of it was just the realization of I haven't really spent time to figure out, outside of, oh, I don't want to work. That's a lot of people. It's like, oh, I just want freedom. Everybody talks about freedom, like freedom to do what? Oh, I don't want to have to wake up early and work. Okay, well, when you do wake up, what do you want to do? So I think that's important. You know, we talk a lot about reaching goals, but figuring out once you reach those monetary goals, what you want your life to look like. And most people don't know. And they're like working so hard to get to a place that they don't even know where it is, which is absolutely outrageous. I don't want you to be that way. Be sure to subscribe. So I'll try to get to y'all's questions. I'm gonna do a live coming up. The traveling will slow down next week. I'll actually be back in my proper home, so we'll be back at it with some regular scheduled things. Be sure to comment. Tell me what your thoughts are if you spent time thinking about things like that, or if that's even of interest to you. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to like. I never ask y'all to like at the end of the video. I always forget. When I do live, I try to push it. So be sure to like. Be sure to subscribe. And thanks so much for checking out the video.